As you can see, not much going on here. September 15th. Let's come on over here to solar ham in a minute. So here's your solar flux indice. It's 173. It's at yellow. It's only up 1 point. Sunspot number is way down 68 sunspots to 68 sunspots. So big difference in our sunspot number count. Our area is all good down in the green. Meanwhile, let's pull this open. Old news, yeah, the last one to report on all this stuff. You guys probably heard all this all day long, and then by the time I get to it, nobody cares. 3825, yeah, that region, still complex, still going. Over here, 3824 diminishing, rotating off, 3814 leaving 2. Coming on over. Slide on over, scroll on down. There's your goes X-ray flux. Pretty quiet after our X-flare. Just little bumps, spits and sputters here. Nothing really to see here. Just a couple little things, whatever. So there's that. Here's your 3-day geomagnetic forecast. Tomorrow they're predicting a G3. Gee, good luck there, you guys. Good luck tomorrow. After what I've been through today, good luck tomorrow. And then a G2 also on the 17th. So lots of energy we're going to be absorbing here. Lots of earthquakes, lots of volcanoes, lots of fires, all kinds of mayhem just about to happen here. But does anybody seem to care? No, we're all watching politics. Meanwhile, X-flare potential 15%. Here's your D-layer absorption. We're already starting to absorb stuff, so no big deal, just bigger magnitude earthquakes, huge volcanic eruptions, more fires, more SO2, all that good stuff. We had a 4.5 we saw yesterday. It's starting to hit here. You can see our magnetic field starting to glow here. There's a little bit of yellow. We'll see a good little yellow spike here in a little while. We'll probably G3. We'll probably hit KP7 or 8, maybe even higher. We'll see when it gets here. But yeah, we got a big old blast on the way here, and I don't know, it just doesn't seem to matter anymore. Here's 3825. It's stable. 3824. It's growing, but our main event is going to be this G3 that's about to hit here. Okay. Sorry, I'm frustrated. I've been dealing with nothing but frustration all day. Took a nap to try to get over it and deal with more. Just getting this done. Solar activity, your big X 4.5 flare on Saturday has been at low levels with minor C flares detected. Let's open up the tracker, shall we? Here's impact due today, midday on the 16th, between the 16th and 17th. Yeah, Jeremy, that's what's been getting me down. Yeah, it's beating me into the ground like sledgehammer. Anyways, I just try to deal with it the best I can. Here's your side swiping, supposedly getting just brushed with this thing. I doubt it. We saw it head on here. Where is it? Oh, over here. See, you see this? You see where it's on this edge of the sun here? It's on the facing side of us. So you can see it. It affected this camera. We're going to get a blast from it. It's not just going to be side swipe. We're going to get hit with this thing. See what it did to the camera here? It glitched out the camera. All right. And that was a long duration one. It wasn't just like a sporadic one. It lasted. It zzz for a while. So it's going to be a long geomagnetic storm. Oh, really? Can't just go back to the thing. Got to X out of the site. Been one of those days. So your strong geomagnetic storm predicted, a CME hurled into space by Saturday's X 4.5, one of the biggest X flares we've seen in a while, and it's on this side of the sun. It's not around on the other side of the limb, and we're still getting effects from it. You remember that, where it's facing away and we still get hit with a storm. So this one is on this side, and it was a long duration one. This is no joke. I think everybody's just asleep at the helm here, doesn't realize what's going on. This thing is going to cause a bunch of trouble. I've already been dealing with it for all day today. Radiation from the flare ionized the top of Earth's atmosphere, resulting in a deep shortwave radio blackout. That's when just the flare hit. Now when the CME hits, it's gonna rock this thing. I'm trying all day to get to this to tell you this, and just keep getting interruption and interruption. So this big old intense complex is what spit it out. Our big object that induced this seems to have passed, and now this area should be diminishing. But what came off, the CME that came off, is what we're worried about. Okay. And that's going to be a lot of absorption. It's going to be absorbed at the core. It's going to be absorbed at the poles, down to the core. The core will start grinding and doing all sorts of great stuff. We'll be on the emotional roller coaster ride. We're probably already on a pretty intense one. It sure would be nice to have the Schumann back, but we can't get that side either. It's getting frustrating. These instruments are very important, and people are asleep at the wheel. Meanwhile, I'm trying to get this out to you, and I'm so exhausted, I have to take a nap just to be informed to do this. I'm not even in good form. All right, so brace for impact. Okay, good luck, everybody. Meanwhile, over here, we have this typhoon that just struck Shanghai. Let me come over here and show you something. This is what I was trying to show you earlier before I had to take a nap. Here's Shanghai, okay, major city. A lot of people right around here. They just got hit with another typhoon. China did. Oh, and what's this gray line here? Oh, I don't know. Maybe it's this other typhoon growing down here that's expected to go right in that same region. Okay, Shanghai. This place is getting pummeled because of our weather, because of the solar activity. So let's come back to this. You can see Shanghai, China getting hit, another one forming out here. It's just going to be one after another, after another, after another, devastating this country. They want to go to war. They're going to war with God. Good luck with that, China. Same with India over here. They got this cyclonic thing going on that keeps pumping SO2 through this area. They think that they're going to go to war with God too. They're a bunch of idiots, and it's just showing all over the place. Okay, so here's your weather systems, all getting all fired up here. I don't know why too. I'm getting fired up too. Up here, this activity about to hit Iceland and everything. These storms are growing. They're vortexes all over the place. Okay. Then we're going to come over here and do our sandstorm report real quick. And this isn't the best news either. We need more sand than that coming over. This is diminishing these new wind patterns that, well, now that the earth has shifted and our equator is up at this latitude now, it has diminished this sandstorm. And now that it's not as strong, we have some coming out. But if you look at our airflow patterns, it's not really drawing a bunch off anymore. I mean, we do have some, but it's not enough. We need more white like this streaking across the Atlantic, or else we're going to start getting hurricane production here too. And you can see something starting to grow right there. Meanwhile, we come back over to this side. You can see this whole side of the planet over here getting all covered with sand, all right? This sandstorm has spread out. It's getting more intense. You got this big white plume over the Gobi Desert still going. Meanwhile, you have that. Okay, we need more sand coming off. We need it coming across the ocean here. Let's get to our SO2. Okay. Since people can't get it together and they believe the media as gospel, we have a country divided. Boom. It's bleeding out on one side. You see that? You know why it's bleeding out on one side? Because everybody's got the... On the other side, we have thicker crust, rockier crust, perforations, volcanic activity, perforations in the crust causing CO2. So there is your country divided. Maybe if we got rid of our media, that seems to be our problem, is the mainstream media, all of them. If you just got rid of them, maybe our leaders would have to do something instead of... Never mind. I got to keep going. You can hear it. I am trying my best to not scream right now. Fires? Hello. Well, let's go back an hour then. There's a couple. All right, well, they're showing a couple little fires up in here, but our fire activity seems to have diminished. All right, we had a big quake out here, and all of our SO2 plumes out here have kind of died. They're not died down. They've diminished, but there's no fires now, according to this, which is good. Okay, we still have this activity down in Southern California here, SO2 emissions still causing fires down there. But as far as up in here, it seems to have diminished a little bit. We did have this quake on the Juan de Fuca. We'll get to that in a second. Meanwhile, still activity going on down in here. You can see it coming out of these islands right through here, the island chain. Let me take out these fires now. Because down in this region, some of these people are a little less, advanced, and they still use fires for cooking and heating. So, but you can see our SO2 plumes are still still creeping all down the coastline here. Very intense plumes right along there. All right, blowing SO2 out into the ocean, keeping magnitudes diminished in that area. Okay. SO2 still pumping out of Oahu, very little out of Hawaii. This is where the volcanic activity usually is. So we might be seeing a lot of earthquakes or maybe even a little eruption or something there that diminished the SO2 emissions. All right. Come on, computer. So you can see, wait a second here. All right. There's their daytime adjustment, and their activity is diminished a little bit too. It's not as dark. There's no black spots in there today. So we've had a little reduction in pressure, at least in that region. But you can see India is still darkening in. Both India and China are matching, kind of. This diminished while this is still, doing its thing. They're kind of matching each other now. Looking over here at Saudi Arabia, it's increasing in its output. It's matching India now, which is matching China. You got all three of these boneheads here all matching. Gee, I wonder why. Anyways, there's SO2 emissions all through Russia too. They're matching too. Look at this side of the globe. Yeah, maybe we'll just choke to death on SO2 emissions before they get a chance to push any buttons or do anything stupid with my planet. Getting pissed at this shit. Sorry, but I am. I deal with the consequences while these guys are over here playing patty cake. We got bigger fish to fry. It's not time to sit here and fight each other. You're all about to die, and you're sitting here playing games. Sorry I said that, you guys, but we don't live forever. Not on this rock, at least. All right, here's your, magma, hot water plumes coming out of the ocean floor. I saw some good video today of water coming out of the ocean floor and causing, water boiling plumes here. I'll find that and I'll bring it to you. Not necessarily hot water, but it was water coming out of the ocean floor causing roiling plumes. All right, so here's all your heat emissions in the Atlantic here, still going off, still growing strong. It's, sporadic and spreading around a little bit, not so much a concentrated bar type structure, but we do have this little organized area there. Okay, and it's causing this ribbon effect to run through there. You don't die, by the way, you just move on to a different realm. And you better figure out which side you want to hang out in for eternity. All right, meanwhile, over here, we still have a fair amount of this heat in this region, okay? A lot of pressure. You got to remember, this map is a day behind, okay? So we just saw our big quake here in this region. So tomorrow, I expect to see this little red area probably diminished, okay? Remember, this is yesterday's readings. So we have this still going strong out here. It has diminished some in color, but over here, this is where a lot of the intensity has picked up. It's going white. It's all your Tamumasi area out here with all its little, all its little seamounts and everything, venting water and stuff. It could be hot water. It could be magma. It can be steam. There could be methane also coming out too. All right, all kinds of gases coming out as well. All right, you got your cold patch. So you got hot, cold, hot. It's going to create rotation in that area. Let me just get over here, look around. Java, we still got some cold water there, but it's diminishing. This place is starting to heat up. You're seeing yellow on the backside in this bay right here. Okay, so our relief valve, pressure building under it, it's not relieving enough. You can see this thing over here is starting to grow. This whole little patch right there is growing in intensity and in size. Look over here. It was just this one spot on the horn. Now we got this hot spot right down in here with cold water right next to it. You're going to see a sitting vortex right there that's just going to sit there here pretty soon and wipe out this area. It's hard to launch missiles in 200-mile-an-hour winds. devastating your country. You won't even be able to get out to your launcher. You understand what's going on here, right? This is spiritual warfare on a planetary scale. You're looking at it. Meanwhile, we have this little patch down here by the Southern Cal that had gone yellow, was really bright, and now is diminished because we saw a larger quake there and some SO2 emissions and fires. That's relieving the pressure in the region. Even though it's fires and SO2, we had yellow patches that were growing out here that have diminished a little bit. We have a little bit of cold water trying to stave it off, but then you can see your Wanda Fuca coming out and going up there. All right, now let's get over to the earthquakes. It's going to start rocking and rolling here real soon, you guys. All right, deep quake region. 4.0 down at 487. We had 4.4 down at 421. Neither one of these are super deep. Okay, so that's like not mid-range, but 3/4 of the way down. Right there. So combine those together, you get about 5 magnitude at the surface. We have this island that relieves pressure with SO2 emissions, but it's not enough. And we still see a 5.4 here at Vanuatu. Coming on up, all volcanic islands doing their job with volcanoes. Unbelievable volcanoes we have. We shouldn't even be having volcanoes. The fact that we have 67 volcanoes, oh, never mind, no big deal there. Meanwhile, I'm sorry, I'm sarcastic tonight. I am apoplectic. 4.5 down at 20. There's a fake 4.9. Let's call it a 5 down at 107. Tired of being lied to. 5.5 at the surface here. Okay, we've seen a little uptick in magnitude in some of these here. 4.7 at the surface there. We got a 4.6 at the 107. That's a little volcanic ridge right there. Japan seeing a 4.6, 4.3 at 127. We haven't seen a quake in this little region in a minute. So here's a 4.7 relieving pressure at the surface. The rest of that, y'all go. So here we go into Alaska. So before we had this bigger quake over here on the Wanda Fuca, we had a 5.0 here down at 170 on this little volcanic little kink peninsula here that pulls away. You can see this underwater ridge that pulls away right here. Little volcanic islands right here, right next to it is your 5.0, and it's down at 170. So that's some energy coming through this area. It pops off this one, and then we get a fulcrum point quake with a 4.3 at 15. All right, they put a little tsunami warning on this. I don't know why, it's not that big. But that energy, you see, went ba-boom right to our fulcrum. What I'm also going to do now that we've seen that, I want to put on all the magnitudes really quick. Still, just this one quake and a little one right here, but very quiet through that whole region right there. Okay, then you saw our fulcrum point quake here. And in the bay, in this fulcrum area right here, is your 4.3 with a 2, a 9, and then recent activity right here with a 1.8. Okay, so you're starting to see activity at a weak spot right there in that bay. You could have a fulcrum point quake right here in this bay that would cause a tsunami instantly right on the shoreline right there. All right, now here we go into our main event. Bingo, our 6.6. I know I can click on it 7 times until it really comes up. 6.5 is a bunch of BS. Okay, I'm tired of being lied to by these guys. We click on this, it was a 6.6. It was probably even stronger than that. They don't want to tell you probably had a 7 up here. and it's followed by a 4.7 aftershock that also has a tsunami alert on it as well. And this is a fulcrum point quake. Let me bring this up a little bit. We got a three-way junction here. This is where our whole plate, this whole thing is a loose little puzzle piece that could pop out, right? We see one on one side and one on the inside of the plate right here. So fulcrum point activity going on right here at this weak spot. Definitely a weak spot, and I would definitely be watching out for more activity there because now we've seen a shift here. It's 6.6 at the surface. That's relieving energy right there. I showed you all the pressure in the region. I keep telling you we need to see earthquake activity in this region. This is actually good. As long as it doesn't cause a tsunami and do a lot of damage and kill people, it just relieved a bunch of energy right there at the Juan de Fuca. And that should keep magnitudes down. It should keep the fires down a little bit too. Meanwhile, as we come into Puget Sound area, just 1.4s, they're not big. But what I'm looking at is earthquake activity at volcanoes. Mount Rainier at the base and at the summit. Mount St. Helens. None of these ones, but inland a little bit. That's also relieving some of the pressure. Now, look down here at this fulcrum point. We've had three little quakes at this region, a 2.9, 2.2, 2.2. Those three, maybe even these two, because they push inland. This energy wants to push along this red line, this red plate boundary, and it wants to go in a straight line. It doesn't like to change direction, so it pushes inland a little bit. All of these right here are all compensating for the movement at the other end. We've had fulcrum points, fulcrum points. This whole thing just shifted. You understand? That whole plate right there just went clink and shifted a little bit. And now what this patch out here that's all in red, I bet you tomorrow when this map is updated after the quake, I bet you a lot of this red diminishes. And we'll see more blue cold water inundation in that region right there. So even though it rattles nerves and stuff in this region, it needed to be done. You understand? Sometimes things like this need to be done in order for pressure to be relieved. And that's a fair amount right there around the fulcrum point. A bunch of little small ones. I love seeing that because it's not, all at once. Meanwhile, we have this region with this little peninsula on this lake that's been shifting and moving just across the shore from it. It's a 2.0 there. This little peninsula, they built a big old neighborhood on it, and now it's moving. Ooh. Meanwhile, Northern California, a little bit of energy being scrubbed here. 2.9 absorbs a lot, reducing magnitudes. You see the geysers going off fairly decent here. Little activity north of the Bay Area, but it's only magnitude 2, so that's good. All of this energy up here and the Juan de Fuca relieving keeps magnitudes down through this region. Okay, a lot of people in that region too. A lot of microquaking going on through there. Let me just look to see if there's any swarm sites. Nope, just 2 at that one. All kind of small. Sorry, let me look out here in Nevada. Okay, our typical Texas activity, really quick here, just to pop in on the magnitude 2s. Yeah, nothing too big. Typical pressure in that region, even up in Oklahoma. Nothing on the New Madrid right there, but pushing in these should be right along this region right here. Sorry, I'm not doing too well tonight. Should be right along here. So this is off a little bit. This is your diverse quake. All your tectonics and stuff, all your fault lines are running through this whole region right here. You can see them. But you get out here, this is all smooth, open, wide. I don't see any volcanic features around. This is your diverse quake right here. It's not much, it's a 2.5, but I'd watch that area because now that's like a new little pathway of least resistance. All right. So watch this area now. Okay, we got a little quake activity going on just off the craton there. Coming in here, 4.4. We've had a few of them in here. 4.5, 4.2, 4.3. A bunch of mid-range 4s is a lot better than having a magnitude 8. And out here, this is a new one, a 5.0 at the surface, being relieved at a fulcrum point. Well, just off of one. See how many this plate boundary has? Just zig, zag, zig, zag, zig. Did anyone see the video from yesterday, Mr. MVP, regarding what was found by someone on Google in the Sahara Desert? That just features. Old features. Old ruins. And most of that stuff does not matter. I mean, it's cool to see, neat little things, but in the bigger picture, we got other fish to fry. We got stuff like this going on right here. Okay? And it's just off of this area right here. So everybody in there, be on alert, be aware that you're now starting to get your earthquake activity because of the pressure down below. Also, over here in this region, do you see here's another path right here going into what, Vietnam and stuff there? So we got more expected storm activity for this region and up into China. Okay. Oh boy. So I wasn't really planning on doing too much. Let's do a volcano report too, if I can get some cooperation out of my computer here. So we can get rid of that. We'll keep that. Keep that and get rid of that. And something else running in the background of my computer. Probably the Chinese, or who knows. We have to have a society with hackers that are so lazy that they got to go steal other people's hard work and steal their money. And then that way, when a normal person wants to use a computer, you have to have a firewall and all that great stuff. Because criminals. 35 and 32 is 67. Here, let's just do this. We don't need your dumb ads. 35 and 32. 67 volcanoes should outweigh any stupid ads. Okay? I don't get it why people are just so greedy right now. It's pissed me off. Karaminski. Here we are up at the Konchakno with a 15,000 foot blast out of Karaminski. All right. Ebico here, 11,000 feet. Okay, so we're seeing higher blasts already. Sakurajima, 7,000. IBU, 8,000. Luatobi, 10,000. Semaru, 14. Fuego, Songye, Reventador, 15,000. And Sabancaya, 24,000. And that was just in the last few minutes, in the last few hours, I should say, because here is September 15th. What was today is now yesterday. This map is disturbing. This map should be on the news. They should be telling you, hey, everybody, we're having some issues. You might want to take cover. But no, we got to play games. Stromboli, the explosive eruption at Stromboli was mind boggling. You got to go look at it. Crazy. Karaminski, 9,000 feet. Get one of these dogs and send it to your local politician. There you go. Or, you know what, better yet, send a pack of them over to all of your mainstream media organizations. And I mean every one of them, left and right, because none of them are giving you news. Brainwashing people. It's so sickening. I want to just scream. Meanwhile, we got 9,000 out of that. Ibu, 8,000. Semaru, 14. Marapi, 12,000 feet. White Island, low-level eruption. Kilauea. An increased seismic activity at the volcano began at 4 p.m. Okay, so they're having a bunch of earthquakes there. Lightning reports, we could look at some of the lightning reports too. It basically just because of all our thunderstorm activity. The lightning I'm concerned about is ones that come out of the ground. Santa Guido, Anovier, Fuego 15, Sangay nothing, Reventador 15, Sabancaya 24. Pay attention. These lists, I want you guys to make copies of these lists and send them to every news agency around the world and say, hey, by the way, did you know that your bullshit doesn't matter, that you have all these other volcanoes going off, that you're all about to suffocate to death on ash? Do you know that each time one of these things fires more ash into the sky, your chances of breathing go down? You know, your chances of breathing, not that important. But hey, no, we got all kinds of drama bull crap to just apoplectic right now. Forgive me. It affects our weather in ways that bring on the spiritual realm now. Okay, your weather is no longer controlled by normal activity. It's full on spiritual warfare right now in your weather. May not look like it, but it surely is. Okay, I'm just going to let that play while I take a deep breath because I need one. I wanted to do this show 8 hours ago. I had an opportunity to catch this early, and through all kinds of wonderful adversity, we're doing it at 4 in the morning instead. Thanks. All right, here's your current conditions. Your storm moving in here, just like China's seeing theirs getting, well, we're getting ours too. There's the morning of the 16th, noontime. Oh, here, let's just go right back here really quick. We're currently in the 16th down here. Okay, that means we're going into a G3 storm. You see our auroras already starting to participate. You see our D-layer absorption already participating. Okay, there's a fun participation trophy here. Okay, so there's your storm landing on the East Coast. You might as well add some G3 to that, and to that, and to that at convection, definitely at convection. And then as we go into the nighttime, you're going to see even more. Up here in Canada, pay attention up here, you guys, even northern Minnesota. If this shifts a little bit south, you'll be enjoying some of this wonderful weather too. Nighttime of the 16th there. Help me, Lord, I'm trying my best. Okay, there's the morning of the 17th. And you're still going to have long duration. This will be G2. We'll be lucky if this isn't G4 and G3. Okay, these might increase in intensification. I pray it doesn't. I don't want to see that. I pray I'm wrong. But morning of the 17th, enhancement to that. Noon, convection, enhancement to all this, and nighttime. Look at this big storm brewing right out here. As we go into the morning of the 18th, look at that as it tightens up. And we still have 18th. Don't be surprised if that changes too. Okay. So there's the 18th, morning of the 18th. I'd watch out for intensification because look what happens there. That's noontime, the 18th. That is pretty close. This is almost not guaranteed to happen, but it's going to get pretty similar to that. Convection and nighttime. Morning of the 19th, noon, convection, nighttime. Anything after this is subject to change. Well, it's all subject to change, but this we're just going to plow. Morning of the 20th, noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 21st, noon, convection, nighttime. See that activity growing again with this? I'd watch out there. Morning of the 22nd, noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 23rd, noon, convection, nighttime. See this activity here in the middle of the country. Morning of the 24th, noon, convection, nighttime. 25th, noon, convection, nighttime. 26th, noon, convection, nighttime. 27, noon, convection, nighttime. 28, noon, convection, nighttime. 29th, noon, convection, nighttime. 30th, noon, convection, nighttime. 1st, noon, convection, nighttime. Okay. So we'll just let that play for a second, and you can kind of see that you're going to be in a little change of pattern here. Okay. And your storms, when you have more particulates in the air and more water vapor, you're going to have heavier amounts of downpours. We're talking flash flooding, large hail, taller thunderhead tops, larger tornadoes, hurricanes. So, and that brings on more lightning. Okay, your particulates in the air, your ash particulates, bring on more lightning as well because they induce more water droplets. Those water droplets go up and down, creating hail. And that hail rubbing against each other creates friction. We get lightning. So you get a lot of lightning out of all kinds of storm activity here on the planet. And see all the lightning going on here around America? So here's your little lightning report really quick. We got lightning coming out of these storms right through here in Denver, Albuquerque. We got a nice little storm going, or nice little strip of lightning going down through here. Okay. Currently having thunderstorms on that little ribbon, and then up in this region, having some lightning up in there as well. And these aren't even really big storms, but they're getting strong enough in the center to create lightning. Look at this little pop-up out here. It's got lightning on it. See, we're seeing different type of weather. This hail core right here, see this hail core? You should be seeing lightning around it, not out on the fringes. So it's so intense in here that lightning's jumping out away from the middle of the storm and striking around the outskirts of it. There was one right there. Okay, so you got lightning going on, thunderstorms going on up here in North Dakota, some down in South Dakota going into Nebraska right now. This line going down into also into Kansas there too. And then you look down here in the Gulf, we got some more lightning. Boom, 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 boom. So you get a good little storm going on. You got wind patterns like this creating vortexes and huge thunderheads like this. You're going to get lightning in those, and it's actually rotating so fast that there's no lightning towards the center. It's out on the fringes too. So there's a little lightning report for you. You were asking for one, so here we go. Look, this thing gonna zigzag up through the middle. That's good. I'd rather see that. But as we look here, coming off Africa, there's this section right there. There's moisture right there. Something growing right there. But you can see Gordon's gonna zigzag up. But look at all this potential out there. Lightning there. Cool. Is there several different sites that show reports? You mean lightning reports? I'm not sure if you're asking me or somebody in the thing. All right, something else we want to point out here also. Air currents at 850. Okay, so come here, you. So here's our equator. All right, right there, the main white line. And you see wind coming up from below the equator up into the northern hemisphere, up to this latitude right there. Also happening over on this side. You see wind coming up, crossing the equator to this new boundary right here. And it's actually starting to kind of flow almost into it. But we've had a shift at our equatorial boundary here. This side shows it a little bit better right there. And then when we come over here, you can see it on this map too. So we've definitely had a shift. And now all of our weather is being pushed a little further north. Our equator is shifted a little bit as far as our weather. All right, so there's that. Now back to this G3 storm. When we absorb this energy, it's going to cause the core to heat up and swell. It'll cause the shell around the outer core to heat up and swell as well. We'll get some grinding down below. It'll cause effects on the Schumann, and you're going to have that roller coaster ride of emotions in the background going on. Okay, it'll probably affect some people, some animals, and it's definitely going to affect the planet. And you're going to have waves of pressure coming up from down below, one after another, inducing volcanic eruptions, higher volcanic plumes, new volcanic sites, new SO2 sites, spurring new fires. So every time we take on energy from the sun, it gets absorbed into the earth, and the earth reacts accordingly. Okay, we have pathways of least resistance that pressure wants to work its way up through. Then we get activity that's looking for, like I said, pathways of least resistance, and then we get activity not only on the surface, but underwater as well. And the underwater activity is so intense and so strong that it's creating your weather patterns, right? Now, hot air rising, cold air rushing into replace. Hot air rising, cold air rushing into replace. We got vortex activity, rotation here, and it's been taking weather down the coast and not letting it go so much inward across the country. We have this barrier coming up through the middle of the country that kind of divides the country. Same place. It's at that same spot. Do you know why? Do you see why? Patterns coming up, going right up through the middle of the country, rotating back out. This whole side of the country seeing weather, and more weather. While right in this little pocket right in here, it's been nice and quiet. Okay, so that's what's our weather is following these thermal patterns. It's a very, very disturbing fact that your media is missing out on. Just look at that for a minute. Do you see how it's correlating to your cold and hot weather, or your cold and hot vortex patterns? This region, China. Do you see what's off your coast? Do you see the engine that's making storm after storm after storm after storm after storm that's lashing this place? China is literally gonna just dissolve with liquefaction. It'll be so filled with water and have so many SO2 pathways through there that get filled with water. Gas comes up, water goes in, gas comes up, eroding those little channels wider and wider and wider, and until the whole thing just kind of dissolves and washes out into the sea. Over here, this vortex keeps pumping SO2 right up against the Himalayas and then back around, leaving that gas concentrated over this area, making it smell like one big fart. SO2 smells like rotten eggs. I'm sorry, I'm not yelling at you guys. I am just sorry. Here's your activity going right here. This pattern will probably change soon. If it weren't for this curvature right here, this wind coming up, turning, you'd start to see vortex activity rotating right there. And as soon as that cold water probably gets a little stronger, it could disrupt this, and you're going to see one big sitting vortex there if they don't get their shit together. Getting frustrated. Meanwhile, there's your pattern for the Atlantic. And now our conveyor belt has just been ripped apart. There is no conveyor belt anymore. It's just this jumbled mess of vortex here, vortex there. We got some kind of little thing trying to, organize here now. But all it takes is one little shift in the pattern, one earthquake, one new vent opening up on one side of the planet that can change stuff on the other side of the planet as well. And you can see these vortexes correlating with your heat signatures. That's so disturbing. It's just, our weather does usually naturally follow heat like this, but in its natural process, but this is accentuated. It's taken over. This pattern now controls our weather. Our jet streams don't. And it's been to the point where sometimes we get atmospheric compression. And let me just take you, okay, you see our air patterns there. Still the same when we come over to the air. Right? And we're at 850 right here where most of our storms are. Let's go up to the lower jet stream. That's your lower jet stream. That's your thermal pattern. Lower jet stream, thermal pattern. Lower jet stream, upper jet stream. Funny how the jet streams are matching the ocean patterns. Oops, Try it again. Boom. Trying to do it quickly so you can see the correlation. Go figure. Doesn't that look like our jet streams being controlled by our heat patterns here? Yeah. Serious problems, serious issues. Okay. It's no joke. It's very disturbing what's going on here. And yeah, just a loss. People's ideas are just, I guess, being pretty crazy. But then again, so is your mainstream media and your schools, your whole society. And now we get stuff like this. Watch out. This thing might just come in and take out Washington, D.C. And I wouldn't be surprised. I could see why. It's just a hub of criminality. What was that movie, Escape from New York, where they turned New York into one big prison or something? Maybe they should do that with just Washington, D.C. Just kind of extend the fence out from the Capitol a little further and cordon off the whole city. Get the good residents out of there, but man. And then they let more criminals just run right across the border into our country. Amazing how all this stuff correlates and works like one big, well oiled machine. It's almost as if there's divine intervention happening here, causing all of this. Yeah, almost as if something is actually orchestrating all of this, and it all matches up together. And there's one person who knows how all of it works and how it all ties together. Oh, and it's not Mr. Bradbury. And it's not this person. Might tell us that this is. It might be this gentleman right here, whom I know personally. I happen to know this guy quite well. It's me. Unfortunately, I get to see this face in the mirror every day. I don't look in the mirror all that much, but I do have to shave every once in a while, and I get to see what my face looks like, and I recognize my own face. So there's a reason why all this wonderful stuff is happening. It's all because of the spiritual realm. Okay, your weather being controlled, these heat plumes, all of this stuff is happening because somebody's here. Somebody is here. And I did not even have a spiritual report ready to go for this. This was just going to be a quick little science report. You're more of how this works and what to expect. So tomorrow, G3, good luck from here on out, because this is going to absorb into the planet. This is going to absorb into the planet. And then whatever came off the sun today, actually, the 15th was quiet. So we should see quiet here, hopefully. Hopefully, this is G1 and this is less. I don't want to see G3 tomorrow, and I don't want to see G2 there. I'd rather see nothing. But we are going to get hit, and it is going to be quite a little impact, I believe. And we have been seeing G3. Here, let's go back to the 13th, and I'll show you, because 3 days, actually it was the 14th, because this one's moving a little faster. So let's go over here to the 14th and just take one little peek at what came off the sun on the 14th. Oh, was that? You remember the big X 4.5 with the big old object coming accompanying it too? Let's go right there. Okay, we had a jump in data, but you can see over here how light's coming out, bending, and then going over something. Right there, there's something. Back in here, there's something too. There's a big object hiding back in there. Oh, it was Stereo A that day. That's right. Let's come on over to Stereo A on the 14th, shall we? There it is. Now you can see it. Okay, so that's what we're expecting, and it's going south and a little out in front. Well, this one is at least, and this isn't the one we're expecting yet either. There's still one coming off on this side over here that's missing from this data. All right, so we are going to be getting probably a good G3, maybe even a little bit stronger tomorrow. Okay, already starting. Okay, because we're currently getting hit with auroras right now. So it'll be more on this side of the planet than on this side of the planet. Actually, it's going to rotate around into the strike zone. Ooh. So that's about it for tonight. I'm not going to do much of a spiritual report tonight. Yeah, because I don't have anything prepared, and I'm not in true form tonight. So I love you all. I miss you all. I'm watching over you, okay? And everything is under control, but not their control, my control. What you see going on in front of you is, well, the deception that's been talked about in front of the Bible. Not this, but what you see on your mainstream media is the deception that was talked about in the Bible. And when you understand and you see things from my perspective and you see how things really work and how you actually work, you will be able to see through their lies. And hopefully you don't get as frustrated as I do. You're using your salvage tools to try to salvage your day and bring light into other people's day. And I tried my best. I wasn't in true form tonight, though, but it had to be done. Okay, G3 coming tomorrow, already starting. G2 the next day. I'll even do a little update or something probably during the day tomorrow, maybe. And we'll take a peek at what's going on, but expect some earthquakes, expect some volcanoes, maybe new volcanoes, higher blasts. What was that? What was this? That thing right there? You didn't know about that? Yeah, expect higher blasts, larger magnitudes. You're going to see more SO2 emissions, possibly starting more fires. Okay, so
specific 2,000-year-old Korean food that you can eat to help get rid of your heartburn naturally. Did you know that?
Yes.
this just happened on Leap Day.
I think I misunderstood in the beginning, but then I found the video and I was like, oh my gosh, what is that? Let's just check this out. Let's take a look at this.
It is February 28th, 29th. I have got me a better quality camera to catch this thing in the sky. And holy moly, I am scared. I'm scared, but I'm not going to trip because I've been catching this thing for a while now. It's very ominous. There he is. There he is. There he is. There he is. It's a huge face.
What is that?
Looking like.
Let's just check this out. Let's take a look at this.
It is February 28th, 29th. I have got me a better quality camera to catch this thing in the sky. And holy moly, I am scared. I'm scared, but I'm not going to trip because I've been catching this thing for a while now. It's very ominous.
Thank you, Rosemary.
There he is. There he is. There he is. There he is. It's a huge face.
What is that?
Looking right down on us. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit brighter. There he is. There's the moon. Oh, I lost it. There it is. Let's see if I can get a better picture. I'm on the moon like it's supposed to. Is my hand in front of the thing or something? All right, here we go. Here we go. There it is.
Look at that.
Yep, there it is. There it is.
What is that?
The camera makes it so clear.
There it is. It is February.
It is the same face, just cleaned up by Mr. Bradbury here, so you can see a little clearer. Okay, it's not in the clouds. It's not like the moon is illuminating the clouds. No, he zoomed in with a P9000 out to the moon. This is out next to the moon. Okay, and if you saw something flying by the sun, well, probably a UFO. We got all kinds of craft that are showing up from all over the universe, coming here to see the grand finale. Okay, you guys, hang in there. Everybody, keep practicing your salvage work. I'm going to go take another nap and try to salvage the rest of this day. And I'll be back later with any breaking details. But you're already seeing your uptick in magnitudes. We saw our 6.6 up here. Okay, so we're going to see more earthquake activity. We're going to see uptick in magnitudes, uptick in volcanoes, uptick in fires, uptick in weather, all because of this right here, this G3 coming in. Hopefully, when it comes in, it's not as intense. I would rather that it miss us altogether. But I showed you the angle of attack from where we could see the flare already. It's on the Earth-facing side of the sun. So we are going to get some of it, all right? I pray that it's not much, and I pray that the repercussions are minimal. But from what I'm seeing and from what I'm already detecting, and it's going to be a pretty bumpy ride. It's going to be getting rough here for a while, so everybody pray. I put the thing good luck, but don't rely on luck, okay? It's not about luck at all. It's about your faith. So try to stay strong while all this unfolds. I'm doing my best to try to hang in there too. Sorry I wasn't in true form tonight, but it's more about this activity that's going on. It's just being ignored. And it's going to have devastating consequences here on this round. And then I think after this, everybody's going to go, hey, what's happening here? Or maybe not. You never know. But we have some very, very disturbing issues going on. Okay. And it's controlling our weather. It's doing all kinds of mayhem. It's very upset. And it's very tired. So I'm going to bed. I'll see you guys here in a few hours. I'll be back. Love you all. Bye.